Is Erin Chung, and I teach creative real estate agents how to generate more leads on demand so that they can grow their real estate businesses on autopilot. And we do this by teaching them how to be community influencers. So today we are talking all about how to uh, generate like lots and lots of leads with social media posts. So a lot of the questions that I get often is what post should I do to grow my real estate business and all of that stuff. It's a really, really popular question. So I thought I would just create a quick little episode of the show today to talk all about how we actually do this, what to post, and more importantly, often what not to post. So before we dive in here, what I want to tell you is if you want to take a really deep dive into any of the things that I'm talking about today, what I encourage you to do is actually to join me on my free masterclass. On my masterclass, it's called 100 Real Estate Leads in 90 Days. And essentially what we do is I show you how to generate your first or your next 100 real estate leads again in the next 90 days. So if you want to take a deep dive with me and you're interested in that, I encourage you to join the masterclass. It's completely free. And you can go there at 100leadsin90days.com. Again, that is 100leadsin90days.com. And that masterclass is all yours. Okay. So let's go ahead and jump into the content today. So I have actually thousands and thousands of real estate agents in my academy, in like our Facebook groups, all like online, Instagram, all of the above, YouTube, everywhere pretty much. And again, this question comes up a lot. So I want to make sure that we are addressing the question, and then that way you know exactly what to post and what not to post again. So essentially, what's happening is that I've actually done so many hot seats, for students in my academy where I'll like go on their social media profiles and I'll show them, teach them first what to do, and then they say, "Hey, Erin, can you like critique my social media profiles?" And I'll say, "Okay." So then I go ahead and I do it. It's like a lottery system, all of this stuff, right? So I've been doing so many of those that over time I've noticed that a lot of the agents that are getting leads have a few things in common, and a lot of the agents that aren't getting leads also have a few things in common, and it's to the point now where I can literally go to a real estate agent's social media profile, YouTube channel, Facebook page, blog, and I can tell you almost immediately if they're generating leads from that platform or not. It's like almost instant. So what we're going to talk about today is the things that the agents that are doing it right, like what they have in common, and then the agents that are making a few mistakes. I'm going to cover what those mistakes are so that you actually don't make those mistakes yourself. Okay. So, first and foremost, when it comes to actually making the mistakes of like what actually not to post, let's cover those first. So essentially, mistake number one is using canned content. So I actually see this a lot, and you can use templatized. I see like a lot of like templatized social media graphics and stuff like that. We even offer that in our academy. The difference between that and canned content is that canned content is actually stuff that you can't change, right? It's like someone else's branding, someone else's logo, their fonts, and all of that stuff, their photos. And so, canned content, I know you guys have all seen this before. There's a lot of sites that do like these real estate, like funny little clever real estate memes, graphics. Sometimes I'll see agents reposting quotes, and then there'll be like a little logo in the bottom left-hand corner that they haven't gotten rid of because it's not their post, right? I've also seen a lot of you guys have these real estate marketing services that give you a set of 30 posts for the month. You can't change them. They just like give them to you and then you repost them. And basically, you look at your competitors and they have it on their platform and their profiles. And then you look at like, your friends and people across country, these Facebook groups that real estate agents are in, and everyone's kind of like posting literally the exact same thing. So that is what I mean by canned content. You're using the content that like everyone else is using. You haven't changed it. It's not branded to you. It does not have your colors, your font, your photos, your face, your logos, any of that stuff. Okay. So that's the canned content. That's mistake number one. The reason why I tell agents not to post canned content is because, again, it's not branded to you. So it may get you a couple of stops in the Facebook news feed. When people are scrolling, they may stop and like, laugh or whatever. And it's funny. But the problem with the canned content is because everyone's seeing it, and it's like, it's all the same, right? It doesn't differentiate you between your competitor or anyone else. There is no business or revenue advantage to looking exactly like your competitor. There's nothing for that. If anything, it's you actually make more money when you don't look like anyone else. And as a side note, when I first started Honey Bar Media Inc. And community influencer, I looked just like everyone else. I tried to do exactly what I saw like all the other people doing. And it honestly wasn't until I said, screw all of that. Like, I'm different. I want to look like this. I like beautiful fonts and colors and photos. And I look different. My hair is different. Like, everything is different. When I really embraced that and became unique and embodied like everything that I wanted to embody with this brand, not only did I create a brand that I actually love, I created a brand that stands out. Okay. So for those of you guys that are kind of on the fence with your branding and your marketing, I just want to tell you, like, as a quick aside, there's no money in vanilla marketing. Okay. Like, you want to create a brand that people, like I always say, I tell my students, attract the best, repel the rest, right? Your branding should not appeal to everyone, because you don't want everyone. When your ideal customer sees you, you want that person to be like, this is my person. Like, this is my tribe. This is where I belong. And I feel like for a lot of you guys who are in the academy, when you saw exactly what we were putting out, that's exactly where you're like, this is it. I got it. This is what I want, right? And there's a lot of people who may not like me, and that's okay. And there's a lot of people who may not like you, and that's okay. Again, attract the best, repel the rest. There's no money in the middle. There just isn't. Okay. So when you look like everybody else, that's not going to give you a competitive advantage. All right. So that's number one. So posting canned content that is not branded to you, that looks just like everybody else that everyone is using. You may get a couple of laughs here and there in the newsfeed, but that post is not going to be attributed to you at all. It's just going to be attributed to like a fun little time, and then they're just going to move on, and you don't get credit for those posts, right? So you don't want to post things like that. And then also, again, it's like, as a real estate agent, you need to be very, very careful about your branding, because you are building a personal brand. You are the face of your brand. And when you step into the limelight as the face of your brand, you need to show your personality, your style, your uniqueness, your flair, all of the things that I just talked about. That is what is going to make you stand out. Because here's the thing, when you are forcing the buyer to make a choice between you and your local competitor, that's not fair. You should never put the burden on the buyer to make those choices. Like, you should help that person, right? By showing your personality, your style, and all of that, you're making it so much easier for someone who's a potential client, a lead, a buyer, a seller, to choose you, because they're going to vibe with you. They're going to be like, you know what? I like this person. This is the person I'm going to go with, because I don't know Joe. I don't like Joe. He just posts all this weird stuff, this canned content. And, I have Rhonda over here, who's amazing, who's posting all this cool stuff that's not vanilla. And I like her. Like, I think this is the person that I want to choose for my next agent. Okay. So keep that in mind when it comes to the canned content. That's why I say it's not always going to be good. I want you guys to really take ownership of your branding and take ownership of your marketing. And if you see something that's funny and cute and you want to use it as inspiration, amazing. But like, make sure that you reframe all of like the quotes that you're using, the photos. Use photos of yourself. You use videos of yourself. Use photos of your community, right? Like, we all have stock content, and that's fine. But when you have an opportunity to use a photo that's going to be amazing for your community and going to be representative of your community or your brand or yourself, do it. Okay. So again, that's mistake number one, is posting canned content because of the fact that it doesn't represent you or your brand. Again, not using your colors, your fonts, your logos, your photos. That is a big, big mistake that I see. Mistake number two is you're only promoting real estate. This is going to sound super counterintuitive, because you're like, well, I'm an agent. What am I supposed to post? Not a real estate 100% of the time. That's the answer. Okay. So a lot of agents are surprised by this, because they're like, well, everyone's telling me to do that, but you got to think about this logically. Okay. If you were to follow a car salesman, a stockbroker, a real estate agent, any salesperson, I don't care if it's a makeup person, like, it doesn't matter. A lot of times you see they're posting Like, especially if you look at like YouTube beauty artists and makeup and stuff like that, they're posting a wide variety of stuff. Sometimes they'll do fashion, sometimes they'll do makeup. Like, they don't always focus on one thing all the time because they know that they're going to lose you and they're also going to run out of content. Let's be honest. But if I was following my local, I don't know, like car dealership, which is in sales, and all they post about is cars, cars, cars. Like, this is what I have for sale all the time. That's boring. Like, and if I'm not in the market to buy a car, I'm going to unfollow, unsub, dislike immediately. Okay. So you guys are in the same exact boat as salespeople. And I'm in the same boat too. As salespeople, what you want to do is you want to focus on posting real estate 20% of the time. And then 80% of the time, you're going to focus on posting things like other. Okay. It can be whatever you want. And we'll talk about that in just a second. But we follow that to a T. I post about products that I have, like our products, our academy, those types of things. I post about that maybe 20% of the time. The other 80 to 90% of the time, I'm just giving you guys helpful information that's going to move the needle in your business. Okay. Because if I wasn't doing that, who would listen to me, right? You guys are here now watching this video because you find the content that I'm going to talk about today, it's going to be valuable for you, right? So 80% other, 20% real estate. Okay. The other thing with that, I just want to talk about this real quick. So, if you're posting 100% real estate all of the time, you're also going to turn away a lot of people. It's going to be really hard for you to attract and get new leads into your pipeline because the vast majority of people that's going to be seeing your posts, they're not going to be in the market to buy and sell a house. The vast majority, okay? And then once you have a client who buys and sells and does a transaction with you, they're no longer going to be looking for a home. So they're going to unfollow, unsub, dislike, okay? You don't want that. You want to make sure that people keep coming back to you more and more and more. The reason why I call this brand community influencer is because that's exactly what I want for you guys. I want you guys to be like the digital mayor of your town. Every single thing that happens in your community, you should be reporting about. People should be trained to come to you for everything that's happening in the community. That is the best possible position a real estate agent can be in because leads are going to be attracted to you like a magnet. Okay. And the reason why I know this is because we have tons and tons of success stories and tons of testimonials. And in our Facebook group, this is happening every single day. I know a lot of you guys are doing this. You are the local leader, the community influencer, the digital mayor. People are coming to you with their leads. That's what you want. Okay. So, mistake number 2, recap. Again, that was only posting real estate. You want to post everything with your community, not just real estate. All right. Number 3 is you don't have a posting plan. Okay. So, a lot of you guys are coming to me and you're like, look, I don't want to post on social media. I don't want to post. I don't want to write blogs. I don't want to do video. I don't want to do any of that stuff. I don't want to do any online marketing because you know what? It takes way too much time. That's a huge mistake. And it's very short sighted. And here's why. If you don't have a posting plan and you're scheduling stuff willy nilly, of course, it's going to take forever. What I teach my students is you sit down at the beginning of every single month, you plan out the entire month of content for all of your platforms. And then what you do is you schedule it all out in one afternoon. So you have an entire month's worth of content in just one afternoon. That way, when you're going on your listing appointments, when you're resting, you're relaxing, you're hanging out, you're working, you're just going to church, whatever, you're getting leads because of all the hard work that you put in on the first of the month for the entire end of the month. Okay. That's how you do social media. So if you're telling me that you don't have time, it's because you don't have a posting plan. Okay. You have got to have a plan and schedule everything out. We do this too. I sit down, I have a social media manager on my team, and we sit down every single month. We just did it for this month, for the upcoming month. We sit down, we write everything out, we have it on a spreadsheet, and then we post everything, we schedule it out, and then we're good to go for the rest of the month. Okay. That allows me to be able to interact with you guys in real time because I know these posts are going out. And when they do go out and you guys comment and I see it, I'm able to interact with you guys and post, and it's fun for me. It's fun. Okay. But it's not going to be fun if you don't have a plan. So that's mistake number 3. Recap for those of you guys who are just joining us. Okay. So before we talk about what To post, we talked about what not to post. So 3 mistakes. Mistake number 1 is you are posting canned content that is not branded to you. No colors, no fonts, no photos, like nothing. It doesn't look anything like you. It's not unique. It's everything that every agent is posting. Okay, so that's mistake number 1. Mistake number 2 is you're only posting real estate content. And then mistake number 3 is you don't have a posting plan because it's taking you forever to deal with social media. Okay, so those are the 3 mistakes. Now that we've covered what not to do, let's talk about what to do. Okay. So, all of the agents that I see who are getting massive results and just crushing social media, this is what I'm teaching them to do in the academy. And this is what I'm going to teach you guys to do today. Okay. So, number one of the things that I actually love posting about is local spotlights for local businesses. As a real estate agent, as a community influencer, as the digital mayor of your town, you should be creating lots and lots of networking opportunities with local businesses. And the easiest way that you can do that is to ask the business owner if you can post about their shop, their store, their sandwiches, their coffee, whatever. If you're going to a coffee shop in like a local indie coffee shop and you happen to see the owner and you know the owner, take a picture, post it on social media, talk about it. Talk about what you love about this store. Like, why do you go there so often? I'm going to tell you, when I was an agent and I was doing this, and I posted a local spotlight about it was like the 7 best independent pet stores in my area. And that post went viral because people are crazy about their dogs and cats, right? And it was all like organic pet stores, like not the big box ones, just like homegrown, independent local businesses. I kid you not, my husband and I ran out of dog food one day. So we're like, okay, we need to go to this store. So I was like, you know what? I just did a post on this guy like a couple of months ago, and his shop seemed like amazing. I like going there. So let's go and go there. We did. I walked into the shop. The guy recognized me as that agent because I wrote a blog post about his store. And he was like, oh my God, it's you. Like he knew exactly who I was. He came right up to me. He opened up a register so we didn't have to wait in line. He gave us tons of discounts. He's like, how can we work with you in the future? Like, as a real estate agent, that is like gold. Like he's like, can we post about, the article in our newsletter? And he's like, what if you post on, in your newsletter? It was amazing. Like you can borrow their traffic to get your name in front of their list easily. And it was just the most amazing feeling. And to this day, when I go into his shop, he takes such good care of me. Like we always get free stuff and it's amazing. Like that's the power of being an influencer though. Okay. If you have a show or if you have a blog post, any sort of platforms, social platform, all of that stuff, you can use that influence and allow other business owners to connect with them and to grow their businesses while they grow yours for free. It's amazing. Okay. So that's number 1. I also like doing real estate tips. Okay. Now, I'm not talking about like the boring stuff. You guys, come on, let's be real. Some of you guys are posting some really boring stuff. And like, I'm talking about stuff that's cool, like stuff that's interesting. Like, you guys have the most amazing job. I know you probably take it for granted sometimes because it's like a grind a lot of the time. I get it. Every job is a grind, but like, you sit back and think about all of the cool stuff that you guys see that no one else sees. Okay. So, a lot of you guys know I'm in the process of looking for a house right now. And we've seen some really crazy stuff. Like when we're going to these open houses and, just going to each of the houses and walking around and stuff. For instance, we're selling a house and we're buying a house. And even though I've bought and sold houses for other people as an agent, I've never actually like contingently bought and sold my own house at the same time, which is like crazy to be on this side of the transaction. So it's just like, think about stuff like that, right? Like, think about like just common things that are questions that your people are asking you all the time that you're like, as an agent, you do it with your eyes closed, but think about their position. They don't do this every day, even though you do. Think about the questions that they have, the concerns that they have. Put yourself in the mind of your buyer and seller and start posting about that. Like that stuff is cool, you guys. That is what is going to go viral on social media. So think about all of the tips and stuff that you guys can do as an agent. Okay. So real estate tips. I also like community news. Not the bad stuff like, crime and politics and all. Not that stuff. I'm talking about fun stuff, like what's happening in your community, what construction is going up on Main Street, why are there traffic jams on First Street, like all of those things, like the fun, cool stuff that people want to know about, but like they don't, no one reads the newspaper anymore. Find opportunities for you to step in and take the place of the local media channels. Okay. Find those opportunities. Again, we are coming to people and asking them, like, you want to be the hub of your entire community. Okay. People should be coming to your website, to your YouTube channel. Anytime something is new, they should be on your Instagram trying to figure out what's happening. Okay. That's what's going to put you in a power position as an agent to attract leads. All right. So the next one is personal posts. We touched on this a little bit on mistake number 1. The reason why you do personal posts is because you need to allow people a chance to get to know you. Okay. That's very, very important. They need to get to know you because it's going to make it easier for them to choose you over your competitor because of the fact that they like your style better. Okay. So personal posts allow you to nurture your leads. It allows you to build up that know, like, and trust factor so that when people, when it's time for them to buy and sell a house, that you're the one that they think of. You stay top of mind. Okay. I also like community events. As an agent, I posted weekly community events. I told people in a blog post and also in an email blast all of the things that were happening over the weekend. And I would actually get complaints from people when I didn't do it. Like I would get phone calls, I would get emails like, hey, where's the weekly events list? Like I need to know what's happening in my community this weekend. That is an amazing position to be in, you guys, to have people in your community reaching out to you because they love the content that you are putting out so much. That's huge. Okay. So it's the people in my academy that are doing this consistently, and we talk about how to do it. They're crushing it. Like if you guys go back to episode number 16, I believe it's 16, with Stephanie Catcher, like she just talked about how she was doing the weekly events post and she was getting so many leads and she didn't want to work over the summer and she was going on a vacation. She literally had to turn it off. Okay. So like, who doesn't want to be in a position where they're getting so many leads that they have to turn it off? Okay. Like that's what you want. All right. And she was doing it a lot of the time. She told me on that episode with the weekly events. Okay. And then finally, the other thing I like for agents to post is listings. Okay. Coming soons, open houses, just sold, all those things. The only caveat that I have with that is just make sure that when you're posting about real estate, that you're offering people an opportunity to opt in and become a lead. Okay. And we talk about that a lot too. Cool. So the bad news is that cheesy, weird, ugly marketing is dead. We talk about that all the time on this show. But the good news is that you can actually be creative and like go out and document all of your processes. And while you're having lunches and dinners and you're going to the pet shop and all of those things, you can document the process, post it up on a blog, do a quick little video, provide value to your community and have so much fun. Okay. Like, lead generation sucks most of the time. I'm not blind to that. I know it sucks, but there's ways that you can actually make it fun. And you can also generate leads just by doing stuff that you're already doing. Okay. That's why I teach community influencer marketing. I want you guys to generate leads while you're just out and about at the gym, at the pet store, at the grocery store. Like we have a whole entire shop full of merch just to help you guys generate leads if you're at Trader Joe's. Okay. Like that's what I want for you guys. I want you guys to go out in the community, meet people, have fun, and generate leads in the process forever because you're documenting all the fun that you're having. Okay. Making connections with people, business owners, all of the above. All right. So this is what it's all about. That's the name of the game. All right. So at this point, you may be convinced that you need to add a little spice and variety to your lead generation processes. And you're tired of being boring in your lead generation. You're just tired of it. And if that's the case, then I've got some resources. So first and foremost, If you are a student of mine, this is all covered in the Lead Strategy Academy in stage 1. Okay. Stage 1 covers all of the social prospecting. I give you captions and graphics and all of that stuff. You guys already know that if you're in the academy, but check out and revisit stage 1 if you're getting in a rut and you want to know how to post all of your stuff in one afternoon and get your posting plan together and all that stuff to save time with all of your social media and your YouTube channel and all that stuff in your blog. Okay. So that's number 1. Number 2 is if you're not a student of mine, that's okay. I have another resource for you, and it's going to help you to actually start your journey of generating leads without cold calling and door knocking. Okay. So I know that's what you guys want. So I'm going to give you what you want. If you want that, it's yours. Just go to communityinfluencerplan.com. So once again, that's communityinfluencerplan.com, and that's yours. So what I'm going to do now is I see there's a ton of questions in the box I can see. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a second to answer just a couple of questions here. We'll take maybe like the next 3 to 4 minutes to answer questions. So if you have a question or a comment, post it in the box now if you're watching and tuning in live. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and take those questions. So while I'm waiting for questions to come in, also, I want to let you guys know we go live. So I go live on Facebook, YouTube, we post to Instagram, and I also have a podcast in iTunes. So if you want to know about any of that stuff, just go to any of those platforms, Facebook, YouTube, whatever is your favorite platform. And we also post it on the blog too, if you like to read, and then just type in community influencer and you'll be able to find me on any of those platforms. And be sure to subscribe and leave a review if you love it. Okay. So let's go to the comment box. Let's take a couple questions before we sign off. So let's see here. I'm just going to open up my screen a little bit wider. Sweet. Okay, so Susan is asking, what are some resources you recommend for finding stock photos to post? So for stock photos, I actually have an entire episode on this too, and it's about I like let's see here, the 3 ones that I like. So I like my favorite one is actually, you know what? Can my team is on this call. Can you guys post on the tools page? And just it's communityinfluencer.com/tools. There's a whole entire section on where to get stock photos legally that you can use in all of your social media. So yeah, that'll be great. Just go to the tools page. So Lynette is asking, my issue is being a solo broker without an assistant or a social media coordinator. So I don't have much of an issue with Facebook and IG posts, but I stumble more with consistent blog posts and content. So yeah, so Lynette, what I like is if you are solo, that's perfectly fine. You can hire a VA and you could probably get everything done for maybe like $20. Okay. Outsourcing is a perfectly acceptable way to make sure that everything gets posted. So the only thing you have to be careful with is do not outsource the actual content creation. Just outsource the actual logistics of posting it. So if you, Lynette, are like going to go meet a client at a coffee shop, or you're having dinner with your brother-in-law or whatever, make sure that you're documenting the process. So take photos, write up a couple of notes on like your notepad on your phone, and then you can just shoot that over to like a virtual assistant, a VA, and then have them post everything on your behalf so that you're not bogged down with the actual logistics of the posting. So hopefully that is helpful. Linda says, how often are you supposed to post a day? So Linda, we post once a day. I think that's more than enough. You can post more than that if you'd like to, but once a day is perfectly fine. Debbie says, I have never used Instagram. What's the best way to learn? And I have a business account or just a personal account. My husband and I work as a team. So, Debbie, I have this little thing called the Lead Strategy Academy, and we cover all of that stuff. So, you can go to leadstrategyacademy.com and learn more information. And in the academy, we cover what exactly to post on Instagram and how to optimize your Instagram profile and actually to get leads from your Instagram. Because, and I know this from doing the hot seats, that a lot of you guys are not using your Instagram correctly for lead capture and lead generation. Okay. Instagram is a great way to get leads, but you have to set it up properly in a way that's actually going to allow you to capture those leads. So I would check that out if I were you. So Alicia or Alicia? How do you get over your fear of video? I've actually got all of my tools, mic, lapel, camera, etc. Just waiting for the right moment. Hashtag terrified. So yeah, let me tell you how I actually got rid of my fear. And we have a whole entire blog post on this too, an episode on this. I got over my fear of doing video by taking myself out of the equation. So now, I mean, you guys know I'm doing tons of video, and it doesn't even bother me anymore. I actually like it, and I think it's fun now. But originally, I was terrified. The first time I ever went live, I literally just sat there for like 30 minutes and like couldn't press the button to go live. So if you feel that, you're not alone. Okay. The way that I got over it was I simply took myself out of the equation and I framed it differently. I said, you know what? My community is going to get more value out of this. And if I remain quiet and if I don't post videos and do all of that stuff, I'm doing them a disservice. That's how I reframed it in my mind. So essentially, the way that I think about this all the time, even right now, okay, you are going to get much more value if I go live than me just being and keeping quiet. And to me, you getting value and you getting results is far more important to me than my fear of like, what will people think? People are going to judge you whether you're on camera, you're off camera, you're at the grocery store, it doesn't matter. So once you understand that people are going to judge you, whether you're just sitting at home and doing nothing or not, you might as well not do that and get out there and generate leads and do and help your community. That's far more important. So just take yourself out of the equation, focus on helping other people. And when you stop thinking about yourself, I guarantee you it gets so much easier. Okay. Let's see, Barbara. So Barbara says, I just got engaged. Yay. Congratulations, Barbara. So I just got engaged. Would you post something about that on your business Facebook page, or is that weird? No. No, not at all. So like when I was talking about the personal posts from before, that's the types of things that you should be posting. If you just got engaged and you have engagement photos, like you can absolutely post things like that. That's what's going to allow people to, again, know, like, trust, and remember you. Okay. The only thing I would say is that if you're posting about personal, just make sure that you bring it back to business. Okay. So for you, I'm just going to do this off the top of my head, but if I were you, Barbara, I would say something like, hey, like, so excited to be with this man and spend the rest of my life with this man. He's amazing. Something to the effect of like, I own a real estate business. Should I keep my maiden name Jenkins or should I take his maiden name? Like ask a fun question like that. And then that way you've kind of like circled it back to business. So you start off with personal, but then you circle it back to business so that way you keep top of mind and let people know that you're an agent. Okay. So that's how I would handle it. A better example, but that's how I would do it. Okay, let's see if there's anything. Yolanda. Okay, so Yolanda says, can we link our personal business page so that all of our friends can see all of the posts? Can we link our personal business page so that all of our friends can see all the posts? I don't know what that means. Sorry, I don't understand the question. But I guess to give you a little bit of advice here is that you could actually just put your personal profile on public if that's what you're asking me. But yeah, all your business stuff is already public, so everyone will see it. Eric says, I've put my Facebook friends in lists when I post excluding realtors. My post loses its effectiveness if shared by someone else. What's your suggestion? I've put all my friends in lists. When I post excluding realtors, my post loses its effectiveness if shared by someone else. Anytime someone shares a post, it's going to lose effectiveness. So I wouldn't worry about that, Eric. Again, it only takes one person to see it if that person happens to be in the market. Okay. So as things get shared more and more and more, it's going to lose effectiveness down the ladder. So don't worry about it. Just keep posting. And if someone shares, that's fine. But if you, I mean, I recommend excluding realtors on your lists organically. I teach that in the academy, so you must be in the academy, Eric. But yeah, don't worry about that. Just keep posting and you're going to be good to go. Okay. Cassandra says, what is the best, least expensive CRM to consider? So again, I'm going to link you out to my tools page, Cassandra. That is communityinfluencer.com/tools. And you can see all the tools that I recommend there. Let's take maybe 2 more questions and then we'll be good to go. there's any other ones here. So Yolanda says, "Can we link the business with the personal?" Sorry for the confusion. Yeah, you wouldn't link them. They still stay separate, but you can post to the personal and you can post to the business, or you can share from the business to the personal. The benefit of sharing from business to personal is that anyone who interacts with it, you can then retarget with ads. Sneaky. Okay. I do see Cassandra here has one. There's one more I saw here with Cassandra that says, do you recommend Buffer? Or it's Corey, rather. Sorry, Corey. Do you recommend Buffer? And I'm just going to tell you, I do not recommend posting with third party apps. Post natively on Facebook. And Instagram does not allow us to schedule yet. So for Instagram, we can't schedule, but we use I recommend a tool called later.com, and Later will just remind you when it's time to post, and then you post still natively on Instagram, but it allows you to copy everything and then just post it right then and there. So don't use third-party apps. You're not going to get as much reach and engagement if you're using a third-party tool or like an auto poster or an auto bot. I've had a lot of episodes on that too in the past as well. If you want to learn more about that, you can go to the blog and learn more about like why you shouldn't use an auto poster. Okay. So sweet. I'm going to one more, Rhonda. Rhonda says, "I just signed up for your course and I would love to get started." Rhonda, I'm actually really excited to see you in the academy. I'll see you in the Facebook group. And so I'm super excited that you're here. So thanks for watching the episode. And also thank you for being in the academy. So I'm going to go ahead and sign off now, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to come back to this. And if you guys have more questions, please feel free to post it in the comments. Even if you're watching the replay later, we always come back, me and my team, we answer all of your questions. If you have further questions, go ahead and post it there. And thank you so much, you guys, for joining me today. And I look forward to seeing you guys in the future. Bye.